We ride together up here, from the breaking waves on our rock-bound coast, through towering woods beneath stormy skies, over icy ground and granite hills. We ride together, over the bridges that bind us, the fire in our hearts that fed a revolution, through falling leaves across iron paths. The roll of the stirring drums unearths the humble, hungry, and fun. We ride together up here. When the lantern is raised, we answer its call, as strong as pines in winter, uniting every village and town. Whether here, there, or anywhere, we ride together. These are your riders, your lantern lighters, the pride of New England. Like those before them, they embrace the challenge. Every kick, every pass, every tackle, every free jack on their feet. The anthem of freedom on our lips. We ride together up here.
Hello and welcome back to the sensational New England Free Jacks live show. It's been a while since we all connected after what was a very busy 2021 season. 99 matches played, both an Eastern and Western Conference final, and the MLR Shield going down to Los Angeles for the first time. Well, we had so many brilliant highlights here in New England. So much of that had to do with your support here in Boston and also online with new fans around the globe saddling up and enjoying the exciting ride. Well, it's so great to be back. We're here at the Forge for the first time, live and loud. My name is Dallen Stanford. I'll be your host for the next 60 minutes. We'll bring you another blockbuster show with plenty of guests calling in, some near, some far, and some in person for the very first time ever. Today, we'll chat with the new incoming head coach, Scott Mathie from South Africa. We'll hear from Performance Director here at HQ, the great Tom Kindley. We'll talk to some returning players in Justin Johnson, Mitch Wilson, and Quentin Newcomer. Plus, we have a surprise announcement, which we'll do live, a brand new player joining the New England Free Jacks. We'll also talk to the entertaining local hero, the Free Jacks mascot named Woodgie. So please, fire away all your questions, all your comments, anything you want the guest to answer. We'll tee it up right here on this live show. Well, let's start with one of the highlights of the 2021 season, beating the Eastern Conference champions at the new home of the Free Jacks Rugby at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Quincy.
All right, folks, the last regular season game of 2021. Absolute pleasure having you with us tonight here on FS1 as ATL get us underway with this deep kickoff. They go again, Ogar reaching, there it is, and it might be that man, Leon Conradi.
Well, such a great event. I was able to pop back into that same venue recently, catch up with the latest MLR collegiate draft pick by the New England Free Jacks, Anthony Adamczyk. He had some fun with his take on the All Black scrum off Aaron Smith's passing challenge.
Aaron Smith, accepting your challenge, but front row style. You ready?
Bang! Let's go! The celebration was the worst part for me, I tell you what. Well, listen, we've got plenty of stuff for you at the Free Jacks website, freejacks.com. One of them is the popular podcast section. Season 3 dropping off soon. That's the Full Contact CEO, hosted by the superb Alex Magleby. We have Pathways with the Free Jacks, and also Blood, Sweat, and Beers, hosted by Olympian and Women's Eagle flyer Christy Kershey and the excellent Tammy McQueen. Also have a new feature that is just out for the New England Free Jacks. That's Team of the Week, celebrating the rich culture here in New England. The Free Jacks will be highlighting the outstanding players across the region for their efforts on the pitch. Such a brilliant idea and a great way to showcase these sleek sensations. Then, of course, the Free Jacks mascot, Woodgie. Well, the Woodgie's been everywhere. Pictured here celebrating with the outstanding Red Sox. Another victory for them at Fenway Park. Can't wait to chat with that legend later in the show. You can also get your merchandise at freejacks.com. All right, let's get to our first guest in the hot seat, calling all the way from Africa. It's New England Free Jacks head coach Scott Mathie. Scott, hello, pal. Great to see you, man. We're delighted to have you join us. First off, you're looking sharp. You had a haircut since the last time we spoke.
Yeah, it's getting a bit too long. It's getting summer over here now, so needs to trim it down, eh?
Well, listen, we are so excited to have you here. The very first question, what are you looking forward to when you join us here?
Yeah, look, man, I think I've always been a little bit of a pioneer just across my life, and coming to the Free Jacks, I really see it as a amazing opportunity to build something special. I think New England's got a great history of significant and special sports teams. So to be able to start that journey off with rugby union, which is my passion, is just something that really excites me. That, and also just getting to work with players from different countries, man. I mean, you're so used to working with just South Africans, and now I get an opportunity to work with such a great coach with Mike, and get to work with the players from all over the world. Those type of things just really get the juices flowing, eh?
And then for those that haven't seen our chat, our Free Jacks in 5 interview, we'll touch on some of the similar questions so people can get to know you better. So let's briefly start with, where did you grow up? What was your childhood like?
Yeah, so I'm from Durban, which is, for everyone out there, that's an East Coast town in South Africa. Lots of sun, surf, and that type of thing. My dad is from Newcastle in England. My mom's Zimbabwean. So very normal. Growing up in Durban, went to some good schools, playing sport from 6 years old. Every type of one I could, wherever there was a ball involved, I was pretty much on it. So typical Durban boy. That's pretty much my background, eh?
Yeah, and let's touch on some of the rugby you played. Obviously, you mentioned some good schooling. You pick up a rugby ball at 3 years old in South Africa, as I well know as well. But tell us about some of the teams you played on, particularly in your professional career, and what position did you play?
Yes, I was a scrum half. I think my height dictated that, although I don't think I'm the smallest scrum half around. But I started off at the Blue Bulls. I was very fortunate to do my junior years there, and I played a couple of Currie Cup games. Actually, underneath the head coach now is I think at Houston, Hanneke Meyer. So that was some good years. I was very fortunate after that to get to play for my home team, the Natal Sharks, for 3 years under Dick Muir, which I learned a hell of a lot from. And from there, I was able to get over to the UK. I spent 3 years in the Premiership with the Leeds, and then I spent a year at Sale Sharks as well. So 2 Sharks franchises, which is cool. And lastly, finished up at the EP Kings. I came back to South Africa and then finished up there. Eh?
Oh, that's great. You could be going against Hanneke as well in a little bit, which will be cool. In fact, I just got a message from him saying he's looking for some players, but I've ignored the text.
100%. No, I don't want to go there.
I'm joking. And then let's talk about how do you transition, right? You've played professionally, and then what was that transition like, and how did you get into coaching? Is it something you've always been interested in? How did that come about?
Yeah, so look, I was a director of rugby at a really big traditional boys' school here in South Africa, in Durban, for 4 years. It was actually my alma mater. And Brent Jans van Rensburg, who was the head coach of the Griquas Rugby Union, actually gave me a call really out the blue, and said if I wanted to come join him as the assistant coach at the Griquas. And really quite amazing opportunity, pretty daunting, because it was a long, if you know Kimberley, it's a long way from Durban. So yeah, I was given that opportunity, and it was something that I couldn't really turn down. To get into professional sports as a coach is something that I've always wanted to do, and really grateful for that opportunity. Eh?
And let's talk about some of those learning lessons, So, particularly when you're a new coach, you've played, so you know that form of the game, but coaching must be slightly different. And so what kind of things did you pick up in your early years?
Yeah, I think, look, I came in there at the high school, and I had all these weird and wonderful ideas, and you're not only responsible as a director of rugby for the actual teams and the first team, but you're responsible to coaches too. So I had these massive dossiers, manuals drawn up on how I wanted these 20 odd teams the school had to play, and how each coach how I wanted them to coach, and so on and so forth. And I might as well just throw in those manuals in the dustbin, really, because it doesn't work like that. And I learned very early on that if you want to get the best out of people and grow people, it's really about the connection. It's about setting up a lot of times to connect and talk about rugby first, build those relationships. And the other big thing that really was important to me is just simplicity. I think we try as coaches to complicate simple things. And rugby is a game that is really just needs to be. You just need to do the simple things really well. And I think I learned that, especially for players, they don't want their minds clogged, and they just want nice, simple stuff where they can interpret situations and really exercise a bit of freedom within those simple structures. So yeah, that was two big lessons that I learned in coaching, and it's really stood me good stead as I've gone through.
Yeah, exactly. And let's talk about your most recent one. So you stint with Griquas Rugby. Can you tell us, the Free Jacks community about firstly living in Kimberley? It's probably not one of the more popular destinations when travelers come and visit South Africa. You can explain a bit about Kimberley there and your time with the Griquas. How was that?
Yeah, look, I loved my time with the Griquas. It's such a special union. I mean, but they always say you cry twice, in Kimberley, when you arrive and when you leave. And it really is the case. I mean, it's 8 hours from anywhere. It's 8 hours from any coastline. You are properly landlocked. There's nothing. We don't have cinemas. There's nothing here. So it's just a rugby ground and a city kind of around that. But it's not the most affluent of places. So you've got a lot of blue collar guys who really just understand hard work and have to scrap for everything. And it was important for me that, coming into this job, that we had a team that really reflected that these people could identify with. So what you found was you had a bunch of guys who stayed together. You had a bunch of guys who had nothing else to do except train, work at their rugby, and the social element of everything was really designed and created by us. We had to create the lawn bowl competitions, and we had to create an amazing race or do this or whatever it was to generate that home feel for all the guys that had come from outside. I mean, none of the players come from Kimberley as well. They all came from bigger unions. So just being able to create that environment for these guys to grow and enjoy themselves and really compete was great. And then to go out there and achieve what we did in the Currie Cup was something special, and it was built around a lot of fight and just effort and guys just unwilling to sacrifice anything. They're just unwilling to let people come past them, unwilling to die. You know what I'm saying? And that was just a really special thing to be a part of. And I don't think many people know. The year before, I had the same young team that. We went and we lost every single game. We lost 8 of those games by less than 7 points. And this young team, over the course of a season, over a year, slowly transitioned into a team that made a semi-final for the first time in 25 years. So I'm really proud of what they did, and I'm proud to have been a part of this great union.
Yeah, and in many ways, when you do join the Free Jacks, it is a melting pot. Players coming from all over. Obviously, a lot of local players, but still, there are a lot of accents, as you well know. But let's talk about that. So the Free Jacks, what can they expect when you come in and your assistant coach, Mike Rogers? What will you guys bring to the table this coming season?
Yeah, look, it's been so great chatting to Mike. Just in the conversations that we had, our philosophies are so aligned. It's actually quite scary. Look, we both highly competitive people. And I think our environments that we'll create is one of like high competition. That's probably the biggest thing. We want to be physically. We want to be a physical side. We want to be a side that shows, just never gives up. And the other thing is just that we want to be an innovative side. We want to be a side that's always looking for opportunities where we can, find little cracks in the opposition. And I think those things are probably the key for me: competitive mindset, physical, and just a side that's always looking to innovate.
And then in terms of the newer players coming in, have you had a chance to be involved with those signings? I know some of the players that have already been confirmed, they've all mentioned today have had a great talk with you already. So you've been quite active, right?
Yeah, it's been great, man. I've been on the phone to all the players, and I'll chat to them again in about a month's time. But really good guys, guys that are hungry to get back next year, hungry to be in the environment, and that excites me, And so it's been great. I mean, Tom's done some wonderful work this year. He's a guru when it comes to everything that's required and finding talent. And Mathie's been awesome with the New Zealand-based talent. I mean, he's got a great eye and he knows the lay of the land that side. I mean, I've been obviously doing my work this side with the South African guys. So it's been such a great collaborative effort. And we're all pitching in and helping out. And I think that's the way I like it to be. Guys are really, everyone's just, getting the shovel out and digging for the team and keep working for the team and keep helping and collaborating. And that's what you want. So it's been awesome so far.
It really has. And then speaking of getting the shovel out, I know in the winter coming here, you'll be getting that out as well. So off the field, off the rugby field, what sort of things do you like doing?
Obviously, being in Durban, I was really enjoyed a bit of a longboard surf. So I've got a big 9'4" board that I've pretty much I've used about twice this whole year, which is, I've got the itch now. I need to get back, and I've got a week left. We're on 1 week in Durban before I come over, so I'll be getting some surfing in. Love a round of golf. We're actually packing up the house on Thursday, so I have to send those over in the shipment. So I've got to wait a while before, and I think with winter I'm not going to be playing anything in the snow, so I've got to wait a while for my next game of golf. But I'm looking forward to that. That's about it. And I enjoy reading too, man. If I get some time to sit down with a good book, that's something that I enjoy.
Yes, exactly. And your wife, is she excited to come to Boston? What's the chat there?
Oh, mate, we said, anything after Kimberley in terms of what's out there is going to be amazing. And then I said, geez, we got a chance to go to Boston. And she was like, what? Amazing stuff. There's so much, happening in a big city like that. So she's excited. We got a little one coming in 2 weeks' time too. So that's going to be all a new chapter in our lives. So it's all happening in the Mathie household, and pretty exciting times.
It really is. Well, with all our thoughts with you there. I know the community will be really excited about that as well. So that's great. Well, let's just give you one final chance. You're speaking to the fans right now. Something you want to say to them in the community before we let you go? Yeah,
look, I'm just pumped to get there and meet all you guys, and I'm really honored to be head of this franchise on the rugby field. But I think the biggest key thing for me, this is not just about building a team for the season. This is really about building a franchise, and that's not just me. I'm just in charge of what we do on the field in the MLR. But you got Alex doing amazing work behind the scenes. Tom, these guys are putting in the effort, and every one of us and every one of our clubs in New England have got a job to do. You're spreading the word of rugby, and you're getting out in the communities, and you're supporting the team, and So for me, it's just about we're all in this together, and we ride together, we ride, and everything's about teamwork and pulling together, and I'm just really grateful to be a part of a cog in the wheel, if you will. So really excited to join you guys on this journey.
That's awesome, Scott. Well, so great to hear, and I know everybody's so excited for your arrival. But you're going to be a busy man for the next few weeks, you and your missus. So we're thinking of you there. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll definitely get you on next month as well.
Awesome, great to be here, mate. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott. Brilliant stuff. Well, so great to hear from Scott Mathie. He'll be a huge hit for us next season here. And speaking of huge hits, you can sink your shopping basket on these Free Jacks items, merch at the freejacks.com store. There's plenty of supporters gear, Woodgie stuff for sale right now. May or may not have bought some of those board shorts for the Turks and Caicos trip that I'm going on. So get another. There are plenty of best sellers as well. So you can lock in your favorite personalized players kit such a clever way to connect with the players and show your support as well. Local fall weather might turn into winter soon, so the Free Jacks will have you covered with plenty of stuff there, warm things, which literally saved my life last year. Well, we've got to thank our vital partners as well, who are back again with the Free Jacks. That's Arbel Insurance and Dude Wipes.
Hi, yeah, I'm so ready to come over.
Combining yard tools with cleaning up?
Mom!
Bad idea. Switching to Arbella and combining your home and auto insurance and saving 20% or more? Great idea.
Just tidying up.
Find your agent at arbella.com.
Dude Wipes saved my chapped rear from toilet paper.
Dude Wipes, along with support from your bros, helps you quit toilet paper. When you try to quit toilet paper for Dude Wipes, you may experience increased levels of swagger, improved freshness, and the urge to tell everyone about Dude Wipes.
I can't tell you how great it's been using Dude Wipes.
Check your local toilet paper aisle for Dude Wipes today.
Dude, now that's fresh.
Well, joining me now, it's Tom Kindley, Director of Performance, your sleek sensation. What's performing in your face there, my friend?
The weather is beginning to change here in New England, so it's about time to grow it out.
TK, listen, it's great to have you on. You're so instrumental with the Free Jacks from the beginning. Let's talk about firstly the hiring process. How did you get the coaches on board? Obviously, Ryan Martin was a huge hit. I couldn't beat him in an arm wrestle, but just how do you keep lining up these great coaches and how to go?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. So we had a really extenuous process last year where we kind of had like a 5-phase model. Coaches that applied, we screened them, then they had to do all sorts of different tasks to kind of get through to that final process. And because we'd done such a great job last year, it was kind of a lot easier this year to just kind of handpick a few coaches and tap them on the shoulder. We had a few people in mind, a few people had applied previously, Mike Rogers being one of them. So that was pretty easy there. And then we had a few other coaches that we'd heard through word of mouth might be good applicants to have a chat to. So the likes of Scott Mathie came up there, and thankfully he did because we were really impressed. And I guess we were just best about making sure we were building off the great work that we'd done this year and bringing in someone who was going to be really compatible with our playing group and be able to build off what we've done here and what we place value in, which has been all about people and having a great time, really enjoying their time in Boston and playing a great style of rugby and putting out a product that we're really proud of. So yeah, that's how it kind of went down that. Yeah.
And you're so busy. I mean, I want to say just, when the players arrived, it was challenging times, COVID, you were there dropping off meals, like your Pink Panther in the night. I mean, you really have worn all the different hats there are. Have you had a good time this past year?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, no, I really, looking back at it, really enjoyed everything about it, really. The playing group, I was super proud of the whole management team and the performance and what we put out there on the field and what it looked like in that final game, around 16, 17, whatever it was, against Atlanta at Veterans. So yeah, looking back, we're a lean, mean organisation, but I'm really proud, and I think, this is always going to be an organisation that's going to look after people, and that's the most important thing.
Talk about the off season, what's been going on, what's been happening?
Yes, obviously employing coaches first and foremost, and then moving down to Quincy, which has been a pretty exciting process, probably the most exciting off-season we've had to date, to be all in one location, Quincy's a great town, it's got heaps there for the players to do, there's bars, restaurants, it's a great little city town to live in, and great adjacent areas to that as well, it's right on the water, so forming relationships with different vendors down there, speaking to universities, getting them on board, kind of making that our home and trying to maximise what we can get and do and give back to that region when we head down there permanently has been the big focus for us over the off season.
And what a great finish, as you mentioned, everybody coming in, a great atmosphere and vibe. Talk about 2021. What are your learning lessons there? You mentioned obviously some of the positives. What things do you think you'll tweak for the next year?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think with Major League Rugby in general, we're trying to increase professionalism as quickly as possible. So, for us, that'll manifest in some hires for next year on the management staff and behind the front doors as well. Increasing our professionalism. So that's really been trying to make sure that our players are living like professionals, that they're being treated like professionals, and then as a result, they're going to enjoy their time here even more and then perform better on the field. And then beyond that, we really want to get to a period here where we can have that all-in-one home of rugby down in Quincy, and really will be operating year-round. And then so we're not sort of going peaking at the end of the season, then having a bit of a trough and then getting back into it. We want to kind of keep that momentum going year-round and be developing players. So yeah, that's been that'll be a big focus for us, and obviously, increasing our performance, improving our performance in 22 will be a big one too.
Yeah, just talk about those players. Obviously, if 5 or 6 already been announced so far. I know that the process is each week there'll be new names coming through. Have you finalised the roster? But now there's some big surprises coming our way. What's happening there?
Yeah, we're basically done in terms of our recruitment and retainment for 2022. So we were really happy with our playing group last year, and we've got the core group of that playing group back. Obviously, with any professional sports team, you've got some changes. You've got new coaches coming in with a couple of new ideas, and they'll have their flavour on the recruitment, some of the international recruitment in particular. But yeah, for the most part, we've got that core of the team there again, which would be really cool to have that continue through. And so it's been a pretty good process. I was lucky enough to be able to get out to Denver as well, and got to watch 3 games there with the Pathways program, the predominantly U23 kids there. So a couple of those boys that we've been in conversations to, which is pretty exciting. Good American local talent from different parts of the country, and then a couple of Canadians we've tapped on the shoulder too. Obviously, our northern neighbours up there, a couple of those boys we wanted to get down. So, no, it's been a great off-season today.
So no one can message you again if they're looking for a contract now. It's done, right?
Well, we're always listening. We're always listening, keeping our eyes out there. Obviously, we had issues last year with COVID as well, getting players in. COVID is still not beyond us, unfortunately. Right. So I'm sure there are going to be complications that are going to continue to come up, but I'm hopeful that this might be the last off-season that we've got to sort of tiptoe around COVID.
Yeah. And have you got any plans for the group? Obviously preseason is a big one, so when is Scott coming in, and, when will the players kind of be in-house?
Yeah, so Scott's going to be in kind of late November, early December. And then we're going to look to have a kind of a volunteer training camp through December with a group of our domestic players, and have players moving in, have the option for international players to be moving in there. And then we're looking at potentially an offshore camp with Mikey. We've got a bunch of Kiwis, so potentially a couple of days together over a weekend for them to get to know each other and have spend a bit of time together and form those relationships. And then we'll be starting a couple of days after New Year's Day. So in the new year, we'll be full go.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, TK, thanks for joining us here at The Forge. Obviously, Director of Performance, Tom Kindley. It's a pleasure to have your company, my friend. We'll catch up with you soon again. You're doing wonderful work, obviously. It's just Free Jacks. So happy to have you here, my friend.
Great to be here. Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
Beautiful. Well, let's switch across. The Free Jacks are supporting so many great initiatives, and one of them is mental health.
Mental Health Day. And at the Free Jacks, we want to reflect on the ways that we can support one another, our friends, and our teammates, and come together to get game ready for life and for the future. 1 in 5 Americans will experience some form of mental health illness during their lifetime. And of lifetime cases, 50% of those will experience those symptoms before they are age 14. As athletes as part of a global game, we want to lend our support to Doc Wayne's mission for one world, one team. We want to be part of building the momentum and strengthening the playing field for mental health. Learn more about the Free Jacks Game Ready campaign, the important work that Doc Wayne does, and the ways that you can help by following the link below.
An important part of being an athlete, whether in rugby or any other sport, is being mentally prepared and game ready when game day comes around. For me, being game ready starts at the beginning of the week. Confidence comes from preparedness, and preparedness comes from me taking notes on what the coaches say, watching film on my opposition number and the opposition team, and doing every rep to the best of my ability, knowing that it's going to help me for game day. My game day rituals are to wake up, drink a cup of tea, read a book, really try to clear my mind for the game ahead. Sometimes I even try to play some video games to get my hand-eye coordination going, and then I start slowly ramping up my day, ramping up my adrenaline for that game that's coming up. So I'll switch the music I listen to. I might listen to Bible or more soft music, and then I'll switch it to rap and more hardcore music, just so I'm actually ramping up and ready, so when the game actually is about to start, I'm already fully there and I don't have to mentally switch on and off. Compartmentalizing helps me focus on game day and drown out all the other excess white noise that there might be. Doing this helps me maintain a healthy balance between my athletic life and my everyday lifestyle. Click the link below to learn more about our partner Doc Wayne and how you can get game ready and help others do the same.
Going to be our next guest joining us right now. He is absolutely fantastic. American-born products and dangerous as a porcupine in a balloon factory, Justin Johnson. Joining us now on the shot. There you are, my friend JJ. So listen, you drink a cup of tea and you play video games before a rugby match. I mean, that's pretty class.
You need the hand-eye coordination. The tea is for the caffeine.
I like that. That was really well done. There's a lot of folks that play video games, but they don't have the reason. So you at least have that, pal. Listen, really appreciate your time coming on as well on the live show. We've had you on before. You're always so great. Just remind us, what have you been up to? What have you been currently doing recently?
Currently, I've just been playing with the Mystic Rugby team, working from home. I work for a cybersecurity company, so I'm a project manager there. So, I mean, I've just been living life, training, working out at Flight, Performance. Shout out Jared for hooking me up with the gym to work out in, and just been getting ready for the season to start again.
Yeah, pal, listen, you were voted player of the match against your alma mater, Life University. Did you play against some teammates that you were on the same side with?
Oh yeah, everybody was basically I think I didn't know 3 players. I knew everybody. They were chirping at me the whole time. The fans on the sideline were chirping at me. Coach Blake was chirping at me. It was a great atmosphere. I love playing down there. Life. Oh,
that's amazing. Now, you talk about Mystic River. Obviously, you've had a few of your teammates, Free Jacks teammates, join you. Who do you play alongside?
Yeah, Seth is with me there. Been killing it out there, especially with Eagles. So we've been having Eagle and Seth at the front rows. We had Mitch Wilson come out to a couple games, and he's been carving it up as well. So, I mean, we've had a good amount of people. Cam, he was in our training camp. I think he's going to be back next year. He's a pretty good guy. Love to play with him as well. Evan Geist, the Gator, making his mark out there. So a lot of the guys playing out there, it's good to be back playing with, the guys since we've taken off after the season. So it's always good to be back with them.
Yeah, that's really cool. And not many teams get to do that, to play locally with their sides as well. And then I saw you at Rugby Town Sevens. Firstly, what was it like getting back on the Sevens field, and how did you enjoy that event?
I always tell people I'm not a sevens player, but I do love the game of sevens. I just need to get, I have average speed, but the people out there are ridiculously fast. But last time I was there, I was with the Collegiate All-Americans, and we got 3rd place. So it was great to be back. It's a beautiful tournament. I love being there and meeting everybody there. Always meet new places, especially the South African team that they brought. That was pretty cool to meet those people. So yeah, I love the tournament overall, and it's a great time.
Yeah, now let's look back at the 15 season that you just finished at 2021. What were the positives? What do you take from this past year?
There was a lot of positives. We were building chemistry. We actually set a foundation for the Free Jacks, and I think that that's something that we could build on. I've talked to Coach already, and we had our discussions, and I think that this year we're going to be hissing. All the guys are going to be on the same page. What we're going to run, it's basically going to be similar to what Mardo and his ideas. So I think that it'll be great to have, another coach, another perspective, and we're just going to build off of that.
And then personally for you, if you had to list 3 highlights, what would you say from the past season?
3 highlights, at least for me, I would say playing in the Coliseum, because I grew up in LA. I watched football games in the Coliseum, so playing in the Coliseum was one. Playing in Atlanta versus Rugby ATL was another one, because all my friends from college and family that I have out there came to the game. And then I would say that the last one was scoring a try against Houston. That was the first try of the MLR season. It was a great time. Got an interview after, talked about my Waffle House sleeve. So it was definitely a highlight.
Hey, listen, let's talk about the Waffle House sleeves, because I know in the Sevens World Series, for example, and World Rugby, can't have any branding, but you are the best branded player out there. What is this Waffle House vibe, and is it something you get free meals to every time you go back to LA?
So Waffle House it's a franchise in Atlanta, and is it's a place that you go at the end of the night. Only place open 24 hours. But their food is amazing. You can go get 2 meals for $12, and it may be a little greasy, but I love it. And I'm in talks with the corporate Waffle House right now to get some free meals. But I asked the lady one day when I was there, I saw the arm sleeves, and I was playing for life. We're going to play in the semifinal and the final on CBS. I was like, we're going to be on TV. We were right here. Can I have a sleeve? She was like, oh, we don't have any more. Come back and I'll give you one. I saw her the next day at a smoothie market. And she's like, oh, I have your sleeve. So then gave me 2 sleeves, and me and my other best friend rocked it. And that's how a waffle sleeve was created.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad we got the insight there. Now, we're probably going to keep you away from the waffles, because we need to keep you in shape. We need to keep you mean and everything else like that, pal. So listen, I want to say worst roommate on tour so far with the Free Jacks.
I haven't had any bad roommates on tour. I would say the worst roommate on tour. I wouldn't say he was my roommate, but I heard Mitch is not a good roommate.
Is that because he snores, or what's the story there?
I heard he's just, he likes his space, and he's real OCD about things. So if you get into his space and touch his toothbrush, he does not like it.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, good. We'll tease him. We'll tease him about that later. Let's talk about the incoming new coaches. What are your thoughts about Scott Mathie joining and Mike Rogers?
Oh, I think it's great. Like I said, I've talked with Scott already, and we've kind of picked his brain about it, asked him questions, asked me questions. So I think there's already a good dynamic there. And just based off of everything that I've heard and everything that I've seen, I think it's going to be a great program, great coaches coming in, especially with different talent, different ideas, different coaching structure. I always love it. You got to embrace it because rugby's a world sport. So you always try to get every different person ideas and methodologies out there. And I think that's what makes people better rugby players. Yeah, it really does. Well, JJ, listen, before we let you get back to your cup of tea, final question for you. What was it like playing at Quincy in that final game to close out the season? Of course, you guys had the epic result, but what was the vibe and what was the atmosphere like? It was amazing. The place was packed. I mean, we're going against Rugby ATL. They already won the conference. So it was kind of, for them, it was kind of a wash game. But for us, it was a great game. We were like, we had to come out and make a statement, and we did that. And we only did that because of the fans' atmosphere, how loud they were. I mean, we're glad that everybody had a great time there. I think we basically almost sold out ticket sales. Like, it was tremendous. And that's all the players talked about after. We talked about the roar of the crowd, seeing the people in the stands having a great time, all the games and arcades that we had in the beginning. That's what we love, and the players thrive off of our fan engagement. And the fact that the fans had such a great time, clapped us up after, handshakes and everything, it was great, and we hope to see it more. Yeah, we're going to see sold-out matches coming out soon in the next season, which is great. Well, JJ, we'll let you go. Thanks so much for joining us as always, and we'll make sure we get that Waffle House sponsorship in the mail. Thank you. Awesome. Thanks, pal. Well, great stuff. Great to hear Justin Johnson there. And next up, we have Mitch Wilson, who is more elusive than Carl Sequeira's hairdresser.
Why would I stop? Chill. I don't jump, I dive in it. Hold up. This the reason I'm alive. This the antidote. This the cure cancer flow. Stop a pandemic.
All right, Mitch Wilson, you as deadly as a cobra, my friend. So great to catch you, and thanks for joining us on Free Jacks Live.
Thank you for having me, Dallen. Excited to be here.
Well, listen, you got very snake-like hair there. I like how it's popping up on the side. Yeah. What have you been up to recently? How the last few months been, pal?
Very good. First, I've been up here in New Hampshire, Vermont, for the most part coaching. So I'm coaching up at Dartmouth College, which has been very enjoyable. Good to have like a proper season underway again, post-COVID. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. For a little bit after the season, was able to go out to Colorado, play a bit of sevens, caught up with some family out in Utah as well. And now past few weeks been busy coaching.
Yeah, the sevens was great. Rugby Town sevens. It was good to see you and a lot of the Free Jacks in action. I mean, what was it like switching from 15s to sevens? Obviously, you've played sevens a lot in the past, but you went straight from a long 15 season into that tournament.
Look, very different. At altitude in Colorado, it was pretty tough. Look, I like the way the Jesters had that tournament run. The week ran with the Jesters. It was pretty laid back. I was pretty concerned about conditioning sessions and stuff like that, and I think we ran around for about 10 minutes at most at training. So it was a fun week, and actually wasn't too bad on the lungs until we got out there in games. But no, it was fun. Definitely a good transition, but not too different. It was close enough to the end of the season to be able to stay fit enough.
Exactly. I love the Jesters too. Their theme is they never go to bed angry, and they're always there to entertain you. So bloody impressive.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right, let's switch back to Free Jacks. So let's take a look back, at the 2021 season. Can you reflect on, some of the positives that you saw from your point of view?
Well, I think firstly, 2021 season was the first time the Free Jacks were able to have a home game, which was certainly special. I was able to play against my brother in that game, which was awesome. I was able to have some family up for the game. So that was special, not only from my point of view, but I know from the whole franchise's point of view. Secondly, I think the way we finished the season, not only with some good wins on the board, but also to play our first game in the new stadium in Quincy and to see how that went. And it was rather successful. We won that game, and, it was a great showing by all the fans. And then I think finally just to have a full season in the books with the Free Jacks, I think from everyone's perspective, that must be a success, not only as a player, but as an organization. And, it was awesome just to get that first year underway, or first full year, sorry. So.
Yeah, you're so right. And that last home game was just ultimate epic, beating the Eastern Conference champions in style. The crowd was just humming and buzzing. So we can't wait for the season to kick off and get that stadium packed out. And then were there any learning lessons, things that you think could be tweaked and adjusted looking ahead to 2022?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure from the organizational standpoint, there's plenty of learning lessons. And, as a player, I think there's absolutely learning lessons. I think we're going to be coming in with a new coach next year and a new team. So kind of adjusting to what works for us and finding what works for us next year. And then, plenty of things. Those are a few games in the middle of the season that were on the road that I think will adjust some things going into this year and hopefully get a few more wins on the road in that period of the season. And, I can't sit here and say anything specific, but there's absolutely learning lessons from that season that will be adjusted going into next season. So.
Yeah, well said, Mitchie. And then what are you doing to currently keep in shape? Do you run around with the Dartmouth folks? Do you step them like park cars? What do you get up to these
absolutely.
days?
Yep. So just jump in at all-time fly half with the Dartmouth boys. That keeps me somewhat fit. A few drop goals before and after training as well with James Willicks and I. And then actually was fortunate enough to play a couple games with Mystic River the past few weeks. So went down and played against Old Blue with them, and then also a home game down in Boston against White Plains with them, which was super awesome to be able to play a bit of club footy in the off season and try and stay fit because it's a long old off season. So.
Yeah, it really is, Well, that's so great to hear. And then speaking of those teammates, because I know that you had some Free Jacks play with the Mystic River side as well. You look back on the year, were there any particular teammates you connected with, or just was everybody pretty top notch?
Yeah. Oh, everyone's top notch. Had some mates prior to the season beginning. Justin Johnson, we connected down at Life and known each other for a few years now. So we kicked it off again when he was up here in Boston. But look, really, it was just a great group of guys this year. I think the management did a great job of picking players, not only quality on the field, but quality off the field as well. And look, everyone was just great bunch of lads, and looking forward to getting back out there with them all. And players that won't be back, I wish them all the best for their futures, and I'm sure they'll go on and do bigger and better things. So no, it was an awesome team experience and culture this past year.
Yeah, and then finally, on that note, with the new season coming up, new coaches coming in as well. What excites you about working with Scott Mathie and Mike Rogers?
Well, I think just like any opportunity you have to work with a new coach, it's pretty exciting. I don't know what to expect yet. I expect a few little things. Had a conversation with Scott a few weeks ago, and excited to work with him. And I think the dynamic that the South African coach is going to bring with a Kiwi assistant coach, and both international quality coaches, and both going to be full time here. I think it'll be a great dynamic, and I'm just ready to, I guess, excited to learn more from these guys and see what flavor they bring to the Free Jacks. And that's pretty exciting. So.
Awesome, Mitchie. Well, listen, we can't wait to see you in action. We know you love to get out in the community, which we love as well, which is so great. So keep going strong that side. We'll check in with you, as the preseason comes along, and we'll let you slither away back to the big green.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate it, Dallen.
Oh, great to talk to the Cobra, Mitch Wilson. All right, Free Jacks community, this is the one you've been waiting for, a big mystery guest, the latest player signed for New England in 2022. The man that they call Cash Money, and if they don't, they will call him Cash Money. It's Wayne van der Bank from South Africa. Big Wayne, how you doing, pal?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
Lekker, man. Well, listen, this is big news. Firstly, obviously, for the whole Free Jacks fans tuning in, for yourself, how excited are you to join the Free Jacks?
I'm very excited. I can't wait to get over. I think I've been bothering Tom to find out all the time, when can I come over, when can I come and join the team, because I'm just so excited to join this season.
Well, good, pal. Well, listen, to talk about how did this opportunity come about? Have you been watching Major League Rugby? Have you been looking to play in the US for a while now? How did this happen?
I think through this season, I just wanted to do something different, and Tom contacted me regarding contracts and stuff, and then I started to look at the highlights from the MLR season, and I just enjoyed it and said that I want to join this MLR this year because it looks exciting. It looks something that's new, that's different, and I'm just excited to be part of it actually this season.
Yeah, well, Big Ed and a lot of the fans are sending you messages right away on the screen saying, welcome to New England. So that's so great. Tell us a bit about yourself. Where did you grow up? How old are you? Do you have any siblings? That sort of thing.
I'm 24 years old. I'm born in South Africa, raised in South Africa, a typical South African, raised up with rugby. From the moment you can walk, you actually start to speak rugby and pass the ball and kick the ball. So yeah, it's just rugby my entire life. I actually have two brothers that I play with. The one is 5 years older than me, and we used to play rugby in the backyard always against the older brother. The youngest brothers play against the oldest brothers. So yeah, from the start it's rugby. And I also have a sister that actually always plays with us. As you guys know, in rugby, in South Africa, everyone is just about rugby. So you get raised up with that. So it's what we do.
That's so great, pal. Absolutely. So I grew up in Cape Town myself. So what area is home for you then?
Pretoria is home for me. I was raised in Pretoria, lived there my entire life. Moved to Johannesburg for a period, and now Nelspruit, and then soon Boston.
Soon Boston, exactly. That's right. Well, is there a fact or two that not many people know about you?
I think Coach Scott actually surprised me earlier because I wanted to say that I think the typical rugby player is not someone that will read a book or do stuff like that, and that's for me a thing that not a lot of people knows about me, is that I love reading books. I always like not just to play rugby, but to stay mentally fit as well, and to keep growing in that aspect of my life as well, not just to play rugby and be the typical rugby player that's seen as not the most clever person, but actually I like reading books and to improve in that way as well.
Oh, that's so great. You're right. Scott's a big reader, so that's awesome also. Now, do you have any embarrassing moments, any funny things happen to you, off the rugby field or on it?
Embarrassing moments, I think I can think of a few, but there's one, I thought of this one because I know that in the US they like ice skating and stuff. I went to a mall, when I was young, I went to a mall, and this mall had a big glass window and next to it where you can actually stand from the outside and watch people ice skating and stuff like that. And I remember a girl that I used to like stood there by the window and waved at me, and I wanted to impress, and I skate full speed towards her and tried to impress her with a quick break, and then you spray all the ice everywhere, but it didn't happen, so I dived right into the barrier. So that was quite embarrassing for me. I didn't enjoy that moment. So standing up, I just I didn't want to be in that moment. Yeah, it was just bad.
And you never saw her again?
I did saw her again because I used to go to school with her, but things got awkward after that. So no, never again would I try to impress anyone.
That's brilliant. I appreciate you sharing that with us. That's really funny and great. So obviously that sport wasn't your best one. What other sports outside of rugby did you enjoy playing in South Africa?
I enjoyed cricket. So we are a proud cricket nation as well. So I enjoy cricket a lot. But at high school, they said to me I must choose between rugby and cricket. So I had to choose rugby. Obviously, I loved it, so I had to choose it. But I love cricket as well. I actually love any competitive sport, I think like every person, that's why I think we play rugby. We like the competitiveness of rugby, and it brings out the character of someone. So I enjoy rugby, but I used to play cricket, and I also love golf, fishing, stuff like that. So that's all sports that I play.
And tell me all the positions you've played and what's your favorite position in rugby?
It's actually funny because I started off as a wing because I used to be pretty fast, and then they moved me to flank because I couldn't stay out of the rucks trying to steal the ball and tackle the whole time, and I'm always busy doing something that I shouldn't do. Actually, a wing should be on the edge, try to score tries. So they moved me to flank, and then after flank, I moved to fly off actually. And then after fly off, I moved to center. So now that's my favorite position. I love center because it's in the middle. It's a balance. You kind of like a loose forward because you like contact. You want to tackle. You want to steal ball, but also you can play a bit with the ball. You can show off your skills and stuff. So actually, that's for me my favorite position is center.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Well, good. You at least the middle of the action, which you can tackle and run as well. Can you give us three of your favorite rugby highlights that you've had in your career so far?
My favorite highlights, I can name a few. I think when I was under 19 at the Lions, we won actually the under 19 Currie Cup. You know how big the Currie Cup is in South Africa, and our team won the under 19 Currie Cup, and I was the player of the year in that year specific. I was the player of the year, and that was for me a big highlight. And then after that, I went to the Blitzbox to go and do training camps with them, which I also later went there again for a couple of months, spent some time there and playing with them. So that was quite nice. And then I think one of my favorite ones was beginning of this year. We played against the Stormers, who had six Springboks in the side. Sia Kulisi was one of them, and Bongi and Benambi, and I got man of the match in that game. So that was for me one of the games that I like a lot.
Yeah, that's superb, man. That's congrats. Those are big names there. And again, as I said, we're excited to have you this side. So have you been to America before, and what are you looking forward to here in Boston?
I haven't been to America. I've been to South America, to Chile, and playing there in a sevens tournament for the Springbok Academy side. But yeah, I haven't been to America, but I'm looking forward to going to Boston. Every time everyone as a child, you know about the US and how amazing it is. So in Boston especially, I heard how amazing Boston is. So I can't wait to get to Boston and just to explore the place and I like traveling. So just to go and travel and see the place, getting used to the culture and how the difference between South Africa and the US. We are so excited. Me and my wife have already planned what we're going to do in Boston. So we're excited. I'm really excited to join the team.
Great, Wayne. Well, that's awesome. Well, listen, before we let you go, we have a ton of Free Jacks who are obviously tuning in. They're watching this. Do you have a message for them before you guys get here?
For the fans, sorry, I didn't get that.
Yes, for the fans, yes.
I just think for the fans, I'm grateful to be part of this now, be joining the Free Jacks family. I can't wait for the season coming, and I think they should get behind the boys even more this season because there's new coaches, there's new things that is in place. I think the Free Jacks is really serious this year. That's coming to bring back a trophy. So we're excited. I can't wait for that. So just get behind the team and get excited for the season. I think it's going to be a good season. So yeah, just strap in and ride with us.
Brilliant. That's awesome, Wayne. Well, thanks so much for joining us. We had a couple of folks say we need to get you a Red Sox hat as well, a Free Jacks hat. Get you some lobster rolls and clam chowders. It's all waiting for you here when you get here. So keep training hard, and we look forward to seeing you very soon here in Boston.
Thanks very much. I can't wait.
Awesome. Tot ziens, pal. Bye, dankie there to Big Wayne, our new signing, joining us here in New England, which is fantastic. Well, we've had obviously some legends join us over the years, and this one, Vian Karate, was voted the Players Player of the Year. He's now in Gloucester, so congrats to the chain stores he's known. Vian Karate's there. But we've got other players joining us as well. The great news is the signing of New Zealand standout Jesse Perrette, who comes from the Highlanders side. He'll be a massive addition for the Free Jacks and Major League Rugby. Over the next 10 weeks, the Free Jacks will be announcing players each week that are joining us. A popular figure, we say goodbye to Kenny Hatakeyama, the Japanese legend. He'll be supporting us, wearing the kit over in Japan. Alumni all around the world. Well, it's great to see that as well. Well, one more time to catch up with a player that's already signed up, inked his name in. Let's chat to a player confirmed for 2021. It's the big goose stepper himself, Quentin Newcomer.
Okay. Hold up. Pose. Yeah. Pose. Pose. Yeah. Pose. I am a photo shoot. Pose. I am. Pose. It's a photo shoot. Dope boy, I'm a Polaroid. hoes make me paranoid.
Hey Q, so good to have you on Free Jacks Live, my friend. I believe your new nickname is the Gingerbread Man. Is that true?
If they're calling me that, I'll stick with it.
Okay, good. Well, firstly, I want to congratulate you personally. I know the Free Jacks family and the community want to congratulate you on your engagement to Caroline. That's huge news, pal. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, listen, so I know you're not a man of many words, but listen, let's go back to the season that was just had. Can you give me some of your personal highlights, the 2021 year, and from your point of view, what you enjoyed?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, heading into last season, I didn't really have any expectations. I think the first expectation I put on myself was to just get a start. That was kind of my goal after the 2020 season had gotten canceled because of COVID. So, the funny thing about getting my first start was I'm sitting there on game day. I'm rostered on the 23 against Austin. I'm sitting around in the living room with everybody on the team. We're getting ready to head out, and everybody just looks at me and they're like, "Oh, by the way, you're starting." And I was like, "What?" It's like mentally prepared. I was thinking, okay, I'm going to have the last 20 minutes off the bench or something like that. But, I roll into the pre-meeting for the game, and, Mardo is just standing there. He's like, "Oh, by the way, Q, like, what's happening today, right?" And I was like, not really. Like, I wanted to hear it from him. And he was like, "Yeah, you're going to get your first start." And I was like, "All right, cool." So, I mean, like, that was kind of the culture, is like, you just show up and do your job. But, I was really happy with, getting some starts and really finding my groove in the league. And hopefully I can, progress from that.
Oh, that's awesome. I also, that's crazy that I know the different perceptions of you, like, I'll just come off the bench and, let the others start without me type thing. Well, that's so great how you handled it. And one of those players who you played with is Kenny Hatakeyama, of course, an absolute legend in Japan and now in the USA. He won't be coming back, but did you learn some tricks from the front row veteran?
Yeah, no, it was a really great experience and opportunity to have, all that leadership and experience on the team. He brings a lot of depth of knowledge in the front row. A lot of people call it the dark arts, but, he was more than willing to lend a hand to all the new guys, especially myself, trying to get able to compete for all those different spots. But, he was a great guy and a great teammate, first of all. So, we're really going to miss him going into this coming season. But, I can't say enough great things about Kenny. He was awesome.
Yeah, fan favorite, just a great man all around. Let's switch across to, your current setup. What are you doing to keep in shape?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now I'm down in Richmond, basically just working remotely from home. So that's kind of a bummer, getting stuck in the house all day. But, in the mornings, I get the mornings to myself. So I'll go out in the morning and go run on the local high school field, and then I'll go to the gym. So I'm still keeping active, and then I'm still playing club down here with James River, which is one of the leagues that I started off with. So, 3 days a week, I'll get my skills in, and then the rest of that, it's all about getting back into shape.
Oh, that's so great. And they must be really happy to have you come back as well, so that's really cool. You're back with some of your old teammates there, Let's talk about some of the big news, of course. Ryan Barton has left going back down under, but two brilliant coaches coming in, Scott Mathie and Mike Rogers. What are your thoughts on having these two join the group?
Yeah, no, I think I'm really excited. They bring a lot of knowledge to the game, and I think that's something that, the New England Free Jacks would benefit from, is just their expertise and all of their experience in coaching. I was following Eric Diager when he was playing in the Curry Cup, and then come to find out Coach Mathie is, going to be our coach. And I watched a couple of post-game interviews, and I was really impressed with the way that he handled himself. And I was able to get on a quick phone call with Scott, and, really nice guy, and, really looking forward to getting to work with him, and especially Mike Rogers. I've heard nothing but great things. So, really looking forward to the season starting up soon.
Yeah, brilliant. Two top men. Let's finish off with your experience at the very first ever match in Quincy. Of course, you guys took out the Eastern Conference champions. What was that day like? What was that experience like?
To be honest, my birthday was 2 days before, and I was sitting there talking to a couple of guys. I was like, all I want for my birthday is just, beat ATL in the new stadium. Lucky enough to make that happen. I really, really enjoyed the atmosphere. It was awesome to see the turnout. It kind of was, I guess, like a foreshadowing of what's to come. And I really think that the Free Jacks group did a really great job of, locking that stadium down. And, I think the boys are really looking forward to making that place our real home.
Brilliant. Well, I expect to see some big Gingerbread Man posters coming out when you come out next, and we'll make that happen. All right. We started here, and it'll continue.
Great. Look good.
Awesome. Big Q. Thanks so much for your time, pal. Really appreciate you joining us on Free Jacks Live.
No, thank you, Dallen. Catch you around.
Well, the biggest guest we have here in person, finally, it's Woodgie out of nowhere, the jungles of Boston. He's been supporting the Red Sox. He's supporting, obviously, the Free Jacks. He's everywhere. Finally, we get our first in-person interview. The myth, the legend is here. Look at that. There's celebrations as well. Woodgie, let's start with the first question, my friend. What's it like being you? Okay, pretty great. Sounds pretty great. What was your childhood like? You know, what was growing up in New England? Was it pretty lacquer? So look pretty good. Favorite color? All right, we're not going to get much out of Woodgie, but again, Woodgie is an entertaining machine. So I know Woodgie can't wait to see you at Quincy for the 2022 MLR season. Make sure you get your tickets as soon as we release the schedule.
Larson! Oh, what a dummy! What a fan! Jump over the top! Kenny's beaten! Thrown the dummy! Oh, this is the best try you will ever see! See you in Quincy. You can be a fan like me there. Keep the change.
One of our big partners we want to thank as well is Alloy Therapeutics. They have been phenomenal supporting the New England Free Jacks on the front of the jersey there. So they're really just a big shout out to them for everything they do for New England, the team, and of course helping the side progress as they move up the ladder for the upcoming season. Well, listen, thanks for joining us. Blockbuster show, as we said, we got some great live guests on. We spoke to Scott Mathie as well. Wayne Van der Bank was our new signing. We saw JJ, we saw the Big Gingerbread Man, and the Cobra, just full nicknames here on Free Jacks Live. Make sure to go to freejacks.com to keep up to date. Go to all our socials. Catch us next month for the live show. Maybe we'll get a word out of Woodgie, but who knows? Stranger things have happened. As we say here in New England, let's ride.
There's New England. Stick the phases together beautifully. Jackson Thebus, the bus is full. Goes over Cecil Africa. Speed bump in the way. Still possession comes for New England. Tolatahu to the outside. It's Dougie Fife, the try scoring machine. Fife gets the first 5 at the Coliseum, and the Free Jacks have come to play. Fangasi for the Free Jacks, forward the back. Conradi, and its gaps opened up. Nobody saw that coming, not even Nostradamus. And John Poland gets try number 2 for the New England Free Jacks. Peter Janssen again, man that loves the South African Bright. Bright for breakfast, lunch and dinner if he could. His wife won't let him though as Fife goes on the outside. Dougie Fife in a bit of space, gets the offload. Johnson back in field. Bowman is there, cleaning it up though for the Legioners. Lutz.
First man is good,
Justin Johnson has this one.
16 out.
He's got that long arm over and pinched it. Fife yet again, they work the short side. Dummy's thrown. Back to Dougie Fife. Fife looking for the line. Fife is over yet again. Oh my Fife. This guy's brilliant. The Maul goes strong for Coach Ryan Martin's Chargers. Bowman comes in as well to help out, and Pipoletti's there. Brought the back for Hatakiyama. Played in the famous 34-32 victory over the Springboks in Rugby World Cup 2015. And there it is, all the way for Hatakiyama! Get out of here! Kenny Hatakiyama, one of the best rolling mauls you'll see in World Rugby, and it's the Free Jacks that get try number 5.